G'day, it's Jamie, and welcome to Where's My Yowie. Today, I'm reading an old excerpt from a book that was published in a newspaper in 1872. So we'll get into it. This was published in the Riverine Herald on Wednesday, the 4th of September, 1872, titled A Bush Character. BC, the owner of the station from whence the shearers had come, was a man of whom I had heard of ever since my arrival in the colony. His name was associated with 1,000 daredevil freaks. Any mention of extraordinary recklessness being invariably met by, "Oh, that's nothing to what BC did at Sydney when he put 3 bullets through Dr. Long's hat," or something to that effect. His story was a curious one, such as only could be met with in Australia or California. His parents were Scotch and had made a large fortune, enough to start himself and his brothers with a sheep station each. BC was a man of gigantic stature and strength, soon ran through his share and, from his extraordinary eccentricities, became known all over the country. His great passion was shooting with a bullet, in which he excelled. Pistol or gun were alike familiar to him. He never moved unarmed, and when he went down to Sydney, he used to be the terror of the whole place. His favourite employment being to see how near his friends he could plant a ball without striking them. The odd thing being that the more he drank, the better he shot. Numberless stories are told of his recklessness in other ways. On one occasion, he tied a frail cane-bottomed chair outside the balcony of a hotel by his pocket handkerchief only, and then sat on it and smoked his pipe, with pistol in hand, vowing that he would shoot the first man who tried to displace him. How the chair even held together and how he escaped being dashed to pieces is a wonder. Another time, after he had been staying some days in Sydney, living at the best hotel, he said he was tired of such luxury and should camp out. Accordingly, he lit a fire in the middle of the street, took his blanket and pipe pot, and made a night of it, the police not thinking it worthwhile to risk the chance of a bullet by attempting to disturb him. But of all his mad freaks, none equalled that of his marriage. His brothers had got him this station, to which he was going, after he had been knocking about a long time doing nothing, and everybody thought he would settle down into a quiet and steady fellow. For some time, he went on very well, got the station into good order, and in every way seemed to be going on smoothly. When one day he happened to pay a visit to Bowen, and the demon of drink again took possession of him. It was a tiger tasting blood, and he renewed all his former eccentricities. In vain the magistrates tried to stop his liquor, his name being posted up on every door of every grog shop, with a penalty of £20 for any person supplying him. He somehow managed to get a quarter cask of rum, and was never free from its influence while it lasted. During this time, a Chinese shepherd of his was anxious to get married to an Englishwoman, also in his employ, and told BC what his wishes were, when he promised his assistance and sent a mounted man for the nearest clergyman, who was some days' journey off. When the clergyman arrived, BC had his mad way arranged the wedding breakfast, consisting of beef, damper and rum, he having determined to preside over the happy event, and seeing in it perhaps an opportunity of drinking in company not to be thrown away. The bride was there, and all the shepherds, the sheep being kept in the yards for the occasion. But hour after hour passed, and no bridegroom arrived. The parson got impatient, and the woman began to cry. when BC, with a mighty oath, said, sooner than disappoint her, he would marry her himself. And married they were there and then. When I saw her, she seemed to be a nice, quiet person, and certainly had great influence over him, and managed to keep him out of scrapes. Altogether, it is an agreed thing that he is better off for a wife, although much cannot be said for his way of choosing one. I found him to be a remarkably agreeable and well-informed man, thoroughly up in European matters, which for a colonial is unusual, and he gave me all the information I required, and never attempted to shoot near me. I saw no occasion to regret my acquaintance with him. From My Wife and I in Queensland by C.H. Eden, the end. Well, this guy seems like a crazy sort of character. I've met a few people like this where they're really nice guys and all that, but when they get on the drink, you don't want to be around them at all. And the bit with the shooting the bullets at you and seeing how close you can get, well, he wouldn't have been a friend of mine after doing that for one time, I'll tell you. Okay, that's it for me. I'll get back to you all next time. Bye.